Yes, an amazing Friday morning to you listeners out there. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. It is a program where we preview and review headlines and news making rounds in the papers for your listening pleasure. I am Inioluwa Adekoya. And this beautiful morning, I've got with me headlines from the Oak newspaper, the Punch newspaper, the Daily Post newspaper, and the Nation newspaper. Right about now, I will take a short break. When I get back, I'll give you headlines making rounds in the papers this morning. Glad to have you back. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of the list of our headlines this morning from the Oak newspaper, Ayedatiwa Ajulo Judiciary honor late Justice Adigbinru's legacy. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Oak newspaper and still in Ondo State. Ondo government floats Ogwena hydropower independent energy project. Yeah, still taking headlines on the Oak newspaper. Oyarubulem Park elects new excos. Yes, now moving to Ekiti State. Ekiti names new government building after Fayemi Fayoshe Oni. Yeah, still taking headlines on the Oak newspaper. Federal government destroys 2,809 illicit arms, vows tougher action against traffickers. Yeah, still taking headlines on the Oak newspaper. Tinubu dissolves 25-year-old committee on federal government property sales. Yes, so now I take a flight to the Daily Post newspaper. Airport incident. Peter Obi lies like fish drinking water. Kiamo State. Yes, and now moving to Osun State, talking Osun Paul, Amupitan vows full weight of law against troublemakers. Yes, and we've got this comment from the Nigerian First Lady. Online scam driving human traffickers as Remi Tinubu. Yes, and now moving to Ogun State, murder of Ogun Polytechnic student Nance call for security overall arrest of killers. Yes, and now moving on, still on the Daily Post newspaper, problems in Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali contributing to our insecurities as Tinubu. Yes, and now to the page of the Punch newspaper. Army probes leaked DSS memo warning of Adamawa Bonu attacks. Yes, and now talking on your abduction on the Punch newspaper. Why we tracked arrested kidnappers' family, says Tinubu. Still on the Punch newspaper, NNPC deploys over 1,000 new employees. You're still talking headlines. Police release Osun SSG. And now to the nation's newspaper, non-state schools policy yet to be implemented 1 year after. Yes, and finally, taking headlines from the Nation newspaper, talking 2027 APC Guba candidate Olads Olubadan Oyo Monarch's visit to Tinubu. Yes, and with that, I will go on another short break. When I get back, I'll give you more news making rounds in the papers today. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM, and I will be right back. Welcome back. The program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Beginning on the top of our news this morning from the old newspaper, Ondo government floats Owena hydropower independent energy project. And now to the details. The proposed 350 kilowatt hydropower project at the Owena Dam will create jobs for local professionals, support irrigation for farmers, and power the state water treatment facility. The Ondo State Government has said. The State Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Engineer Johnson Alabi, disclosed this in an exclusive interview with newsmen, saying the project was designed to improve socio-economic activities around the Igbara-Oke axis and expand electricity access across the state. Alabi said the State Executive Council had approved the partnership between the Ondo State Government and UNIDO for the project, explaining that the organization would provide a grant while the state government would contribute 30% counterpart funding. It said the state government would pay its counterpart contribution into the designated account after UNIDO would provide its own funding. According to him, the project would commence before the end of the year once the accounts are fully funded and would be complemented within 4 to 5 months. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the old newspaper with the headline, Ondo government floats Owena hydropower independent energy project. Yeah, still taking headlines from the old newspaper and still talking Ondo. Ondo government resumes work on Akoko Road project. And now to the details. Residents of the Akoko Northwest local government area of Ondo State have commended the Ondo State government for resuming work on the Agbaluku Arigidi Imo Arigidi Road, describing the intervention as a major relief for motorists and communities along the route. The road, which had remained in deplorable conditions for years despite its strategic importance, is now undergoing reconstruction, with workers still on site despite the persistent rainfall in the area. The roads link Ikare Akoko with several neighboring communities, including Erushu, Ibaram, Iyani, Ikaram, Gede, and Ajoa, while also serving as a major corridor to parts of the northern Nigeria. Residents said the poor state of the road had caused untold hardship for commuters, damaged vehicles, and contributed to several road accidents before the government resumed the rehabilitation work. Speaking with newsmen, Anikare Akoko community leader Ibrahim Kilani praised the state government for reviving the abandoned project. A motorist, Alhaji Yahaya Thani, also lauded the government for responding to the concerns of the residents, saying the road had become a nightmare for road users over the year. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline, Ondo government resumes work on Akoko Road project. Yeah, still on the Herb newspaper, federal government destroys 2,809 illicit arms, vows tougher action against traffickers. And now to the details. The federal government has destroyed 2,809 illicit, decommissioned and unsalvable small arms and light weapons. It also reaffirmed its resolve to stem the proliferation of illegal weapons, fueling insecurity across the country. The destruction carried out by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Abuja brought the cumulative numbers of weapons destroyed by the center to about 19,000. Speaking at the event, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Rabadu, said the exercise demonstrated government's commitment to transparency, accountability, and national security. Rabadu was represented by the administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Dr. Dennis Otuaro. He said terrorism, insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, communal clashes, and other violent crimes were sustained by the widespread availability of illicit arms. According to him, every weapon recovered and permanently destroyed represents a threat eliminated from the society. Rabadu said his office, with President Bola Tinubu's support, has pursued an intelligence-driven national security strategy anchored on stronger interagency collaboration, disruption of criminal financing networks, enhanced border security, and renewed international partnership. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, Federal Government destroys 2,809 illicit arms, vows tougher action against traffickers. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Herb newspaper. Tinubu dissolves 25-year-old committee on federal government property sales. And now to the details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the immediate dissolution of the 25-year-old Presidential Implementation Committee (PIC) on the alienation of the federal government properties, transferring all responsibilities relating to the committee's activities to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. The decision was announced in a State House statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. The presidency stated that the committee was established in 2000 during the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo to oversee the privatization, sale, and lease of federal government landed assets under the federal government monetization policy. The statement said that the federal government decided to dissolve the committee after determining that it had exceeded its original mandate, resulting in multiple litigations across the country. The statement said, after careful consideration, the government has noted that the activities of the PIC had extended beyond its original mandate, resulting in multiple litigations across the country, and the continued existence of the committee is no longer justified. President Tinubu consequently directed that all matters relating to the activities of the dissolved committee be coordinated by the Attorney General of the Federation with effect from the 5th of November 2025. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Herb newspaper with the headline, Tinubu dissolves 25-year-old committee on federal government property sales. Yeah, still taking headlines from the Old newspaper. Otedola increases first old coal stakes to 25.86%, acquires 1.78 billion shares. And now to the details. Chairman of the First Old Coal PLC, Femi Otedola, has increased the stakes in the financial service group to 25.86% after acquiring an additional 1.78 billion ordinary shares worth about 222.20 billion naira. The acquisition made public in a regulatory filing by First Old Co. at the Nigerian Stock Exchange NGX. The filing stated that Otedola, through Calavos Global Service Limited, purchased 1,779 billion ordinary 1,779 ordinary shares at about 124.90 per shares. The latest transaction represents 3.91% of the company's outstanding shares. With acquisition, Otedola told holdings in the banking group rose to about 11.8 billion shares, representing 25.86% of the company issued share capital. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Old newspaper with the headline, Otedola increases first old coal stake to 25.86%, acquires 1.78 billion shares. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, murder of Ogun Polytechnic student, Nance calls for security overall, arrest of killers, and now to the details. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Southwest Zone, has demanded the immediate arrest and prosecution of the armed robbers responsible for the murder of a final year student at DS Adigbemro ICT Polytechnic, Itori, in Ogun State. The female victim, a final year student of the marketing department at the institution, was killed during a Monday night robbery in the Eruku area, sparking outrage and renewed calls for comprehensive security measures around students' communities across the state. Recent reports that the students took to the street to protest, blocking the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway and paralyzing traffic along the busy highway, leaving commuters and motorists stranded for several hours. A delegation led by Non-Southwest Coordinator Josiah Adeyemo, including the Ogun State Joint Campus Committee JCC Chairman Olabode Farouk and the institution's Students' Union Government SUG President, visited the Polytechnic to sympathize with the students' body and management. Speaking during the visit, Adeyemo described the killing as a devastating loss to the entire Nigerian student body and urged government officials to treat campus security as a critical emergency. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Murder of Ogun Polytechnic student, Nance calls for security overall, arrest of killers. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, problems in Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, contributing to our insecurities as Tinubu. And now to the details. President Bola Tinubu has said that the problems in Sahel region comprising Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali are contributing to the upsurge of insecurity in Nigeria. The president made this assertion when Oba Rashidi Ladoja and Olubadan of Ibadan paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. Tinubu stated that the terrorists who carried out the abduction of the Orire school children and teachers wanted the federal government to release their members who were already arrested. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Problems in Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali contributing to our insecurity. Yes, still on the Daily Post newspaper, Nigerian army trains engineers to combat rising bomb threats. And now to the details. The Nigerian Army has commenced a training program in Kaduna to enhance the skill of its engineers in tackling the growing air threat posed by improvised explosive devices, IEDs, during security operation. The seminar, organized by the 41 Engineer Brigade of the 1st Division Nigerian Army, was held as part of activities marking the graduation of participants in the Explosive Ordnance Disposal X2 Course 126. Speaking at the event, the commander of the Corps of Engineers, Major General S.T. Shafaru, represented by Major General Josiah Atta, said the training was designed to equip Army engineers with the skills required to better support military operations across Nigeria. He explained that new members of the Nigerian Army Corps of Engineers undergo training in combat engineering, field engineering, and technical skills before taking on specialized responsibility. Shafaru said the EOD course was introduced to address the shortage of bomb disposal experts and strengthen the Army's operational capacity. According to him, Army engineers regularly clear roads and other areas of explosive devices to ensure the safe movement of troops and civilians, while EOD specialists are trained to detect, disarm, and safely destroy explosives. He added that the Army was working with other security agencies and international partners, including the British Military Assistant Training Team and the German Training and Assistant Group, to improve expertise and intelligence sharing. Shafaru also urged members of the public to report suspicious objects or activities, saying such information could help security agencies prevent attacks before they occur. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Nigerian Army trains engineers to combat rising bomb threats. Yeah, still on the Daily Post newspaper, we've got this coming from Kiamo talking airport incident. Peter Obi lies like fish drinking water. And now to the details. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says the 2027 Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi lied over the airport incident. Keyamo made this allegation during an interview with newsmen. He said, and I quote, "That man was lying. He lies like fish drinking water. He lies. He lies for fun. According to him, Peter Obi had complained of being harassed at the airport because of his political affiliation. Keyamo said it was not fair for an opposition candidate to claim that he was harassed at the airport without giving rooms for verification. Recent reports that Keyamo had given Peter Obi a 1-week ultimatum to pay a fine and apologize to workers at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for portraying them as prosecutors. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Airport Incident, Peter Obi lies like fish drinking water, says Keyamo. Yeah, still taking news from the Daily Post newspaper, Judge Ibong. Yeah, still on the Daily Post newspaper, George Ibong emerges chairman, FCTNMA. And now to the details. Dr. George Ibong has emerged as the chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association NMA Federal Capital Territory FCT chapter. Ibong defeated his opponent, Dr. Michael Olarinwaju, in an election conducted on Thursday, the 30th of July 2026. It succeeds Dr. Ayogun Emeka as the chairman of the NMAFCT. Before his emergence as the NMAFCT chairman, Ebong was the chairman of the Association of Resident Doctors ARD-FCT chapter. In his acceptance remark, Ebong appreciated FCT doctors for reposing their confidence in him and vowed to prioritize the welfare of members. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Judge Ibong emerges chairman FCT and MA. Yeah, still taking news from the Daily Post newspaper. U.S. State Department apologizes for wrongly labeling Nigeria on Africa map. And now to the details. The United States Department of State has apologized after Nigeria was incorrectly identified on the map of African displayed during an official presentation at the 8th 2026 conference in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The map, which highlighted 6 African countries, including Nigeria, Mozambique, Uganda, Cote d'Ivoire, Malawi, and Cameroon, contained multiple geographical errors. Nigeria was incorrectly shown as a landlocked country, while the other nations were also misplaced on the continent. The error, which drew widespread criticism after images of the map circulated online, promoted an apology from the State Department. This was an unfortunate error caused by a team member who hastily altered the slide deck immediately before the presentation at the 8th 2026 conference. The spokesperson added, and I quote, "We take full responsibility for the confusion and misrepresentation it caused for attendees, including our African partners." The incident has sparked renewed debate over the quality of official U.S. government's presentation and its engagements with African countries. According to Reuters, an analysis of the presentation suggested the map carried an artificial intelligence watermark, indicating it was created using OpenAI tools, although the State Department has not attributed the error to artificial intelligence. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, U.S. State Department apologizes for wrongly labeling Nigeria on Africa's map. Yeah, still taking news from the Daily Post newspaper, talking Osun against troublemakers. And now to the details. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Joash Amogbito, has expressed grave concerns regarding the level of insecurity in Osun State as the August 15th, 2026 governorship election approaches. He issued a caution to political leaders and their supporters as the Commission collaborated with the National Peace Committee (NPC), security agencies, traditional rulers, and 14 competing political parties to sign a peace accord in preparation for the Osun State governorship election. During the signing event in Osogbo, Amogbito SAN indicated that the Commission had successfully completed 11 tasks outlined in the timetable and schedule of activities, with only the conclusion of campaign at midnight on the 13th of August and the commencement of poll on the 15th of August remaining. It revealed that the Commission would be deployed across 30 local government areas at the Modakeke area office, encompassing 332 registration areas and 3,763 polling units with a verified registers of voters comprising 2 million eligible voters following the Automated Biometric Identification System ABIS exercise. Amogbito noted that 322,822 permanent voter cards, which accounts for 62% of newly registered voters, had been collected by the end of the primary distribution. With that, if that's news aligned with your interest, it is on the Daily Post newspaper with the headline, Osun Paul Amogbito vows full weight of law against troublemakers. Yes, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. The phone lines will be officially open, but before we do that, I will go on a short break. When we get back, we'll officially open the phone lines and I will dish out more headlines in the papers this morning. Yes, glad to be back. Like I made mention earlier, the program is in the papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Yeah, the phone lines are officially open. The number to call for comment and contribution to any of the news that piques your interest is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. We just add a caller. You can call us back 0816 552 4699. Yes, hello.
Yes, ma. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you pronounce from, please.
This is Benro from Memory. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I salute High Power. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I want to comment about the kings from Oyo State that met with the president and their discussion. I think I expect these are leaders because both king and the priest in this country, of course, to be telling the government, for example, to meet about 3 days ago, Catholic member, they also met with the president. discussing with him, but nobody remember Bible. Justice for Deborah, even that Abuja woman that was beheaded. Even their own member, those priests, stay in the den of kidnapper today. So I don't even know what exactly they are discussing. They know how to do. Instead of gnashing their teeth, they will smiling, taking picture with the president. So I don't know. And the president even told the Oba from Oyo State that he has given more money to the government. Is it when Supreme Court rule and you refuse to obey for past 2 years and you are giving the money, is the money due to for the governor? The governor sit down in their various states and you are giving them money, they will continue to receive it, to collect it. If there's no giver, there will be no receiver. So is the money the right owner of the governor? Give it direct to the local government. Supreme Court has ruled. That has become law. But you violate the law. And none of these Oba brother are just looking. Even while the chairman of Oba in Oyo State, former governor Rashid Ladoja, he will refuse to tell Tinubu the truth. Is that going to continue in this country? It's unfortunate. Even that such money you are giving to the governor, use it to subsidize fuel. It will go around Nigeria. Both the driver, workers, everybody will benefit, even little reduction. And you continue to give the governor because of your second time. That is more than millions of Nigerians that are voting. God will deliver us. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that comment, Mr. Benro from Yes, you can still call in to make your contributions and comments as regards the news read out to you. The news that piques your interest. The number to call is 0816 552 4699. 0816 552 4699. Yes, and now moving to the nation's newspaper, why we visited Tinubu by Olubadan. And now to the details. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has revealed the rationale behind the visit of the traditional rulers in Oyo State to President Bola Tinubu. Olubadan, in a statement signed by his media aide, Chief Adeola Oluko, noted that Ladoja and other traditional rulers visited Tinubu to thank him for the release of the abducted students and teachers in the state. Recall that the Olubadan and other prominent traditional rulers in Oyo State visited Tinubu. Other traditional rulers in the entourage of Olubadan include the Olugbon of Orile-Egbon, Oba Francis Alao, the Aseyin of Iseyin, Oba Shafiu Oyebola, the Balogun of Ibadanland, Oba Tajuddin Ajibola, and the Osi Olubadan, Oba Abiodun Kola Daisi. Other monarchs at the meeting were the Alajawa of Ajawa, Oba Adeyeye Oyetunji, the Are Ago of Ogbomosho, I Chief S.O. Otolorin, who represented the Song of Ogbomosho, and the Onigbeti of Igbeti, Oba Abioye Bashiru Olalekon. Oba Ladoja, who also doubles as chairman of the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs, said the visit to President Tinubu was also aimed at appreciating the effort of his administration in tackling the deplorable condition of the federal road linking Ibadan in particular and Oyo State in general with neighboring states. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Nation's newspaper with the headline, Why We Visited Tinubu by Olubadan. Yes, you can still call us for comments and contributions as regard any of the news that piques your interest. Like I made mention earlier, the number to call is 0816 552 4699. The numbers again, 0816 552 4699. Yes, hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
I am Eda Sam K calling from Owo.
Okay, could we have your contribution quickly, please?
Let me speak concerning to the election that is going to hold at Osun State.
Okay.
So love this Nigeria and the state at large that the peace record has been putting answers into all the 14 political parties. To let peace be real. So all our political leaders should think seriously that the peace that we can gain for, not in anarchy or shouts. So that living state of Osun is let the election vote accordingly and let the peace reign. So the government shall be reigning in peace. Jesus' name at Osun State. Thank you this morning.
Yes, thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Yes, the phone lines are still open for comments and contributions. In case you want to contribute on the program this morning, the number to call is 08165524699. Hello.
Thank you. Yes, very welcome.
Okay.
I want to comment about the Governor Makinde.
Okay.
Investigating the issue that took place in the kidnapping.
Okay, sir.
I think what the government is afraid of. If someone said it investigate, not the military tactics or rules which those people was captured, but those who are the sponsor. If you said you have arrested the the perpetrator, those kidnappers.
Yes.
And now it's a tree where you did not uproot, but you only the tree that was beheaded. Tree. It is first again. So, but that is according to the Bible. So, but let's investigate the sponsor. If you cannot capture the sponsor, I'll get them arrested. Then this thing will continue to perpetrate this sponsor another people. So that's what the government is after. Let's investigate. Our government will be happy that let's investigate and find out so that we stop all recurrence. That's about Osun has been in peaceful place. And it's this governor Ademola. And then now that they are causing more than 30 people has been killed according to the news in Osun, not because they want to go to election. These are Yoruba people, for God's sake. And what do you want because of power? This man has delivered. No, that. Let the Osun people decide. Bishop Coker, by the time you talk about who is the chair of the police accord, after the police accord, what else? The politician will roll out criminal talks, continue to oppress the opposition. And no, you will never see Matthew Coker or this Abdulsalam Abaka come back and tell me to comment about this thing, that this thing is wrong. All they just know how to do, just carry their book and go to state and they are attending our court. What is this court? Then when the politician refuses to obey, that's not a court. That's why Governor Ademola said yes. He even prefer to stay at home, but just because of Osun people and he respect that. And I said this not to warn the politician, especially the dominant ruling party from the federal. So Osun State, the local government election has been held. Today these people refuse to allow them to resume office. What kind of country is this? To break up with rules, these people will refuse to obey. Are we in the military government? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, the phone lines are still open. 0816-552-4699 for your comments and contribution on the program in the papers this morning. Yes, I've got this on the Punch newspaper talking Osun State. Police release Osun SSG. And now to the details. The secretary to the Osun State government, Taslim Igbalaye, has been released by the Osun State Police Command. Igbalaye's release was announced by Pelumi Olajengbesi, the spokesperson for the Mole Campaign Council and the group leading the re-election campaign of Governor Ademola Adeleke. He shared the development on his verified Facebook page, saying, and I quote, "We sincerely appreciate the Inspector General of Police and Commissioner of Police praised Osun State Command for listening to the voice of reason despite pressure and for responding to the people's demand regarding the unlawful arrest of the secretary to the state government, Chief Igbalaye Teslim. The Nigerian police force best serves the nation when it stands against oppression and upholds justice and the rule of law. Welcome back, Chief Igbalaye Teslim. Your courage and sacrifice for the people of Osun State will not be forgotten. Our SSG is out, back and solid. If that news aligns with your interest, it is on the Punch newspaper with the headline, Police Release Osun SSG. Yes, the phone lines are still open. 0816-552-4699 for comments and contributions to any of the news that piques your interest. The number to call is 0816-552-4699. Yes, our time is fast spent on this program this morning. We will go on a short break. When we get back, I will call it a wrap on today's edition of In the Papers on iPower 102.7 FM. Yes, glad to be back on the program In the Papers this morning. Yes, and with that, I have come to a wrap on today's edition of In the Papers on iPower 102.7 FM. I sincerely hope this review has kept you informed of conversations making rounds in the papers today. Many thanks to those who called in on the program this morning. Until next time, I remain Inioluwa Adekoya. Have a wonderful day and God bless Nigeria.